We got a lot to talk about today. Blue Protocol's 2023 global confirmation, the new Digimon MMO letting everyone play without restriction, the massive data leak from Rose Online, how I hope you all have an incredibly Merry Christmas. But before that, I want to let you all know that I have a second channel, simply titled STIX, that I post on every single day. This is dedicated to MMOs, to gacha games, and general gaming, and covers the very best and the very worst that the industry does. Consider coming on over and joining me there. Also, let me take a moment here and give a quick thank you to every one of our patrons. You ladies and gentlemen are the best. Oh, and if you haven't already, follow MRSSSTIX and I over on Twitter. We tweet there daily. Finally, and this is the last bit before we jump into the video, MRSSSTIX and I are going to be doing a small little Christmas stream over on Twitch, roughly about an hour from when this video goes live. We'd love for you to come on over and join us there. Now let's jump into this week's weekly bite of MMORPG news. Let's start this off with Rose Online. Rose Online is an MMO that launched almost 2 decades ago and was admittedly a trip down memory lane for me. I played this game as a part of my childhood, and despite its flaws, I had some fun in it. After it shut down, I never thought that we'd see it ever again, but as of last week, the game made a return, and with its return, saw a massive data leak that forced the game offline. The leak in question originated from their login service not correctly clearing data and allowed for the logins for every player, including their emails and their passwords, to be leaked to the public, which was admittedly an absolute disaster of a launch. What's worse though is that this leak persisted for an entire week, and anyone that logged in at that time could have all their login information distributed online. So what I'm trying to say here in essence is change your passwords. I have been an avid fan of Corepunk ever since I first saw the announcement for it. It's essentially a Western version of Lost Ark. Due to many of the staff members living and working in Ukraine, the game suffered quite a significant delay, and we should all completely understand why that is. Even so, they confirmed 2022 would still be the year many supporters would get their hands on the game in the form of a beta test, which is no longer the case, as they announced yesterday that Corepunk's beta test would be delayed into 2023. However, it is still technically coming soon. The game might miss the 2023 mark for full release though, unfortunately. Now I do plan on covering this in much greater detail in its own dedicated video, but Fractured Online, an MMO that I thought was actually not bad during its alpha test, but ultimately turned out pretty bad during its beta test, confirmed a while back that Gamigo had chosen to publish the game. This partnership provided them additional funding and a new means with which to reach additional players. So they had a roadmap ready, the funding to push forward, and a release schedule slated until today, when Gamigo removed Fractured from their website and list of supported games. Gamigo refused to comment on why this happened, but as I'll cover in my video on this, there were a large number of layoffs, they removed several games from their portfolio, and so much more. This does not bode well for Gamigo overall, and all of their games, especially Fractured Online, which was closing in on releasing. Every month I get messaged from the studio behind the upcoming Mad World MMO. STIX, would you like to cover our game? STIX, would you like to cover our game? And I always reply with, well, what has changed since the last time I covered it? And they're like, well, now we have a new type of monster in it. Like, cool, I guess. That's not really worthy of doing a fully dedicated video on it though, but this is worth covering. Jandysoft confirmed that Mad World is now fully complete, but unfortunately will not launch during December as they had expected. Instead, they are preparing various different test phases, which is more important now than ever before, as Netmarble was set to publish the game ever since Jandysoft announced their partnership all the way back in 2019. Honestly, self-publishing is both good, since they'll have direct control over the game, and Netmarble won't get their money-hungry fingers on it, but bad, since publishing will be handled by a relatively new company. One thing I both love and hate about Black Desert Online is the frequency with which they pull you back into their game with the promise of an incredible looking, even better playing new class. That is often very unique, not found in other MMOs. You played this new class, you grind the same content you've grinded 11 other times before, you enjoy the game, you revel in how amazing the combat of the new class feels, especially when compared to older classes, and then you stop playing because you remember why you quit the previous 11 times. This time will be no different, yet we'll still have me returning to play the brand new Wusa class, wielding a combat fan, which is, is actually kind of cool. I loved Zhuge Liang's fighting style in the Dynasty Warriors games, so this will be a great opportunity to see what Zhuge Liang would play like if the combat in the Dynasty Warriors games were actually good. I have played several hours of World of Warcraft every single day since Dragonflight launched, and have been thoroughly enjoying every minute of it. And as I continue to push deeper into Mythic Plus, currently sitting at roughly 8 through 10 across the majority of them, and into Heroic Vault of the Incarnates, I find myself wondering what's coming next. Thankfully, Blizz have graced us with a roadmap for the next 2 patches, and the more minor patches that will come in between. The new trading post, new heritage armor, new zones, new raids, the new mega dungeon, new story, and so much more. I have not had this much fun and been this excited to continue playing WoW since Legion. Speaking of roadmaps, Amazon released their roadmap for the beginning of 2023. In January, players will get to participate in the Witcher crossover event. In February, the anniversary celebration in the Rowan continent. March will see the Tulabek battlefield. The Artist's Advanced class comes in April, along with the Belshazzar hard mode, Hanamutan Guardian raid. I know I'm butchering these names, I'm sorry, I don't currently play Lost Ark, and much more. It is going to be an exciting first quarter for Lost Ark. In news everyone has been waiting for since its inception, Bandai Namco confirmed several different things at the Game Awards earlier this month. The most important being that Blue Protocol will be launching globally in English in 2023. It'll be launching early in the year in Japan, with a final beta test slated for January. They will not, however, be self-publishing this game, as Amazon Game Studios have been confirmed to be in charge of distribution, much like they do with Lost Ark. This is good news for some players and admittedly bad news for others. I have a few different videos on both the positive and the negative aspects of this agreement, but I don't think it's as simple as neither being a good thing or a bad thing. What is bad, however, is all of the monetization that has been revealed, which I have dedicated an entire video to covering. I'll link to that in the description and the pinned comment below, as you definitely need to have a watch. I'm still equally as excited about Blue Protocol as I have ever been, though, despite any drama surfacing and all of the doom posting. I have played quite an extensive amount of Digimon Super Rumble, the new Digimon MMO, and admittedly, it is one of the most fun MMOs I've played in a while, no contest. However, to play it, I needed a South Korean IP, meaning that I required a VPN active. I also needed to jump around any number of hoops to register for the game, including using a Korean verified phone number. Thankfully, I knew someone that let me play on their account, but moving forward, that will no longer be necessary. The studio has removed the need for additional steps to play the game, allowing anyone and everyone to immediately register and jump in, no issues. Meaning, if you have been waiting to play the new Digimon MMO, you'll be waiting no longer. And finally, Into the Echo, a new indie MMO that I covered earlier this year, has confirmed that they will be resuming pre-alpha testing at some point in 2023. When specifically is unconfirmed right now. They made a blog post stating that they've been hard at work on building the world, oiling the gears, and the recent delay was caused by the studio disengaging from a third-party vendor, choosing to develop their own networking platform and backend for the game, which comes with its own headaches, no doubt. And that is it. That is all of the MMO news that mattered to me this week. If you think that I missed something, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll make sure to take a look. Until then, I got you covered with 2 different videos you definitely need to check out right now. One featuring what I believe the best MMORPGs are at the end of 2022, sorted by individual categories: best action, best open world, best PvP and PvE, and the other one featuring a list of every MMO still launching this month in the month of December 2022.